trying to find you.
Honored to meet the Wolverine.
It's not who I am anymore. I have wanted to thank you for saving my life. I didn't send for you only to thank you, Logan. I wanted to repay you.
When The Wolverine hit theaters in 2013, it came as a powerful return to form for one of Marvel's most beloved and complex characters. After the mixed reception of X-Men Origins, Wolverine in 2009, fans were eager to see a film that truly captured the raw intensity, emotional depth, and inner turmoil that defined Logan. Directed by James Mangold, the movie took a bold new direction, setting itself apart from the typical superhero formula and diving deep into themes of mortality, redemption, and the struggle to find purpose in a world that no longer makes sense. Set years after the events of X-Men: The Last Stand, the film found Logan living in isolation, haunted by the ghosts of his past, particularly the death of Jean Grey, the woman he loved and was forced to kill. The tone was darker, more grounded, and far more introspective than previous X-Men entries, offering audiences a film that felt like both a psychological drama and an action-packed comic book epic. Hugh Jackman, returning once again as Wolverine, delivered what many considered one of his finest performances in the role. By this point, Jackman had fully embodied the character. His physical transformation, emotional intensity, and deep understanding of Logan's pain made him synonymous with the clawed mutant. This time, the story took him to Japan, a setting inspired by one of the most iconic arcs in Wolverine's comic history. The Japanese backdrop was more than just a change of scenery. It provided a culture steeped in honor, duty, and personal conflict, perfectly mirroring Logan's inner struggle. The contrast between his feral nature and the disciplined, traditional world of the samurai created an atmosphere unlike any other superhero movie at the time. The film explored what it meant for someone who cannot die to confront the meaning of life itself. The story begins with Logan living as a recluse in the wilderness, his days marked by nightmares and isolation. Haunted by Jean Grey's death, he has turned his back on humanity and the X-Men, choosing to live in solitude. But when a mysterious Japanese woman named Yukio tracks him down, his world is once again pulled into chaos. Yukio brings news that Yoshida, a powerful man Logan once saved during World War II, is dying and wishes to see him one last time. Logan travels to Japan, where he finds himself drawn into a complex web of family intrigue, betrayal, and ancient honor codes. Yoshida offers him a chance to become mortal, to finally live and die like a normal man. But when things take a sinister turn, Logan discovers that his healing ability has been tampered with, making him more vulnerable than ever. This vulnerability added a new layer of suspense to the film, as for the first time, Wolverine could actually be hurt, even killed. The action in The Wolverine stood out for its visceral and grounded style. Gone were the overly stylized CGI battles, replaced instead with hand-to-hand combat, sword fights, and intense kinetic energy that felt raw and immediate. One of the film's most memorable sequences took place on top of a speeding bullet train in Tokyo, where Wolverine battles Yakuza assassins in a heart-stopping sequence that perfectly blends tension and chaos. Each fight was choreographed to feel real and dangerous, emphasizing Wolverine's animalistic instincts while highlighting his decreasing strength. Unlike many superhero movies of its time, The Wolverine wasn't about saving the world, it was about saving one man's soul. The cast around Jackman brought rich layers to the film's narrative. Taiyo Okamoto portrayed Mariko, Yoshida's granddaughter, who becomes both Logan's ally and emotional anchor. Their relationship was tender and genuine, offering Logan a glimpse of peace and humanity that he hadn't felt in years. Rila Fukushima's Yukio added energy and sharpness, serving as a loyal warrior with a sense of destiny intertwined with Logan's fate. Hiroyuki Sanada as Shingen, Mariko's father, embodied the pride and ruthlessness of the samurai code, making for a grounded and complex antagonist. Svetlana Khodchenkova as Viper brought a more comic book-inspired villainy, blending beauty and menace with her deadly scientific manipulations. Each of these characters contributed to the film's exploration of loyalty, honor, and the blurred line between power and corruption. James Mangold's direction was key to shaping the movie's mature tone. He treated the Wolverine less like a superhero spectacle and more like a modern-day samurai film. His approach was inspired by classic Japanese cinema, with moments of stillness, reflection, and introspection balancing the high-octane action sequences. The film's pacing allowed viewers to truly sit with Logan's emotional pain and moral dilemmas, giving the story an almost mythic quality. Mangold understood that Wolverine's greatest battles weren't just with his enemies. They were with himself, his immortality, and his guilt. The film's muted color palette, atmospheric lighting, and sweeping cinematography of Japan gave it a visual elegance that stood apart from the rest of the X-Men series. The themes of the Wolverine ran deeper than its surface-level action. At its core, it was a story about the cost of living forever. Logan's immortality, once a symbol of power, had become his greatest burden. He could not age, could not escape his past, and could not stop feeling pain, both physical and emotional. Through his journey in Japan, he was forced to confront not only external enemies, but also the emptiness within himself. The film's quieter moments, such as Logan's conversations with Mariko or his visions of Jean, revealed a man longing for release, peace, and meaning. It was a story of redemption, of learning to accept pain as part of life rather than trying to escape it. When the film reached its climax, Logan's battle with the Silver Samurai stood as both a physical and symbolic confrontation. The Silver Samurai armor, massive and mechanized, represented the technological and emotional coldness that had consumed Yoshida's world. Behind the armor lay a twist that tied back to Logan's past, forcing him to face the consequences of his choices once again. Though some critics debated the ending's shift toward a more traditional superhero showdown, it still fit within the film's broader narrative of confronting mortality and legacy. In the end, Logan emerges scarred but alive, having regained his sense of purpose and inner strength. He may not have found peace, but he found meaning in his pain, and that, for Wolverine, was victory enough. The film's post-credits scene became a major talking point among fans, teasing the return of familiar faces and setting the stage for future entries in the X-Men saga. Seeing Patrick Stewart's Professor X and Ian McKellen's Magneto appear alongside Jackman's Logan created a powerful bridge between past and future, leading directly into the events of X-Men, Days of Future Past. It was a thrilling moment that reminded audiences how interconnected these stories were and how vital Wolverine remained to the heart of the X-Men universe. The Wolverine was also notable for its ER-rated extended cut, which offered a grittier, more violent version that aligned closely with the tone fans expected from the character. This version allowed for more graphic combat and darker emotional beats, further grounding the film in realism. It foreshadowed the creative direction that Mangold and Jackman would later perfect in Logan, 2017, where they took the character to his emotional and physical limits in a powerful conclusion to his story. In many ways, the Wolverine served as a bridge between the traditional superhero genre and the mature storytelling that defined Logan years later. From a production standpoint, The Wolverine was a challenging yet rewarding experience. Filming in Japan brought authenticity to the setting, immersing the audience in the culture and atmosphere that shaped the story. The blend of practical effects, real locations, and carefully controlled visual enhancements gave the film a tangible quality that helped it stand out. The musical score, composed by Marco Beltrami, added emotional resonance and tension throughout the movie, shifting seamlessly between quiet introspection and explosive action. In retrospect, The Wolverine represented a turning point not just for the character, but for superhero filmmaking as a whole. It proved that these stories could go beyond flashy visuals and deliver something more grounded, emotional, and character-driven. By taking inspiration from classic samurai tales and Western dramas, it gave Wolverine a story worthy of his complexity, a story about loss, honor, and the search for peace in a world that refuses to stand still. Hugh Jackman's portrayal solidified Wolverine as one of cinema's most enduring heroes, and his journey through pain and redemption made him more human than ever, even as his claws and healing powers reminded audiences of his mutant nature. By the time the credits rolled, the Wolverine had given audiences a version of the character that felt complete, vulnerable, and deeply real. It showed that behind the claws, the rage, and the violence was a man searching for meaning, a man who could bleed, who could love, and who could suffer just like anyone else. The film's balance of action, emotion, and cultural depth made it one of the standout entries in the X-Men franchise. It wasn't just another superhero movie, it was a journey through identity, loss, and the fight to reclaim one's soul. And even years later, it remains a defining chapter in the legacy of both Wolverine and Hugh Jackman, a reminder that even the strongest heroes carry the heaviest burdens, and that sometimes the greatest battle is learning how to live again.